10 years ago, the energy market was deregulated. This opened the market to new suppliers. Ambit Energy is one of those suppliers. Go to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com and see how you can not only get free energy by switching to Ambit, you can also earn travel reward points while lowering your utility bills. Learn more by going to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com. Start saving today.
IPM Nation is proud to be sponsored by Uptown Auto Repair, located in Manchester, New Hampshire at 578 Mast Road. Phone number is 603-625-8026. Have you ever heard of a mechanic that guarantees their work? Well, now you have with Uptown Auto Repair, 603-625-8026.
IPMNation.com. Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. My name is Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com, and wonderful to have you with me again this week on the show. I recently, just last week, the end of last week, had the pleasure of sitting down with the members of Rock D Love. That's the name of the project, a New Hampshire-based project. And I sat down and chatted with Diane and John, and I am purposefully leaving out their last names, and you'll understand why in a moment when you hear the interview. So we had kind of a good time with that. You'll get it. It'll all make sense in a moment. And, of course, you'll understand why they immediately, as soon as they arrived here at the studio, became my favorite guests ever. But more importantly, we had a great conversation about the music, and really good people. I was meeting them for the first time. I've been friends with Diane via social media for many, many years, but we'd never met in person before. So she was really cool, and John, very, very cool guy. We had a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it a lot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go right ahead and play for you my interview with the members of Rock D Love right now here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. We have a couple of guests in the studio, and before I attempt to introduce them, because they have challenging names, but I just want to say right up front, they are already, before we've even talked on the air, they are already my two favorite guests so far on this program for a very good reason. They brought pizza.
That's right. Everybody loves pizza.
Now others, to be fair, others have brought food before you, but no one in the history of this program has before brought pizza.
John, you rock.
So you are wonderful people. So we have, all right, I'm going to give it a shot.
Come on, you could do it.
I'm going to give it a shot. Diane Ruggiero?
You did it.
Are you kidding? Did I really?
No, you nailed it.
Okay.
Nice.
And John, it starts with an O, right?
It's close. That's good so far.
I can't even remember, dude. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oggiano.
Oggiano.
Yeah.
That's actually easier to say.
It is?
Well,
Thanks.
I mean, it's more syllables, but there's no weird thing with the G.
Correct.
You know,
I agree,
I mean,
Matt, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, you got a weird G thing going on there.
Yeah,
I mean,
weird.
R-U-G-G, it's very very Italian, I guess.
Very hard name.
Yes.
Not as easy as yours.
No, mine's pretty easy. Although people screw mine up all the time because, well, it is an unusual name.
Correct.
It's easy to say, but there aren't a lot of Connertons. Are you familiar with the Hippo Press, the local publication here? Yeah, the first time I was ever in it, they spelled it Cornington. Not even close.
That's bad.
It was humiliating.
I'm glad they didn't have to spell my name. I'm glad they didn't have to spell my name.
You haven't.
That would have never worked.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not. I don't think spelling it's that hard. It's just pronouncing it. Like if you told me your name, and I had to spell it based on how it sounded, I would be lost.
Oh yes, you would.
But the way I thought it was pronounced in my head, it's actually pretty easy.
That happens a lot in the English language, though, don't you think?
Well, it's an Italian name.
It is. A couple of Italians sitting on your couch.
Yes. So we're here to talk about music a little bit because you have a project. And by the way, Diane, you and I have known each other on Facebook for years and years.
We have.
And we're finally meeting. We've never met in person.
And it's such a small area. It just we're busy.
Yeah.
We're both busy.
Absolutely.
That happens.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. And Rock D Love is the name of the project?
It is Rock D Love.
Okay. And it's the two of you on the studio tracks, or
Yes.
or is there
There's a couple of songs that John's not, but he actually wrote a couple of those songs together, and he is the master guitar player in Too Many Times and Just Get Loose, which are a couple of difficult pieces, I think, as far as like making it work with guitar.
Yeah.
So he's the real deal.
Well, it's like anything, Matt. When I say with Diane, a lot of times I'll write it as rock, electric, and then you analyze it, and if you go acoustic, because Diane plays keyboards, you have to change it up a little.
Yeah.
Because it's just not going to work in that format, but it'll work in a different format, and that's what we'll do is we'll rearrange it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long have the two of you worked together?
3 years? Is
Yeah.
it like 3 years?
Okay.
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And John, you're from Worcester, or
Well,
how do you say it? Worcester.
Well, as a kid, it's
Worcester.
Worcester. You can't go to Worcester. You got to go to Worcester.
That's
but I'm not.
crazy. Talk about pronunciation.
Yeah, talk
Worcester,
about names.
yeah.
It's a Massachusetts thing, but I'm not from Mass, so
Okay.
I'm a transplant.
So you had to learn to say it.
Yes.
I assume.
I had to say like beer and car and Lager, Sam Lagers,
Where are you from originally?
Well, two areas. My mom's from originally outside Toronto,
Yeah.
and my dad's from Niagara Falls, New York.
Oh, okay.
So my music roots started up in that area,
Yeah.
and then transplanted to New England and into the Worcester area.
Oh, okay. All right. Diane, are you from here originally, or?
No, transplant as well. But I've been here maybe like 18 years.
Okay.
I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And I guess my music influence started young with my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was always singing, making us harmonize. He used to make me sing for people for quarters. I remember that, like way back.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah.
For real?
Like, say,
How'd
"Hey,
you do?
Dad, sing
Did you
us
make a
a-"
lot of money, or?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Wow.
It was that long ago.
Yeah.
No, but I think my dad was a big influence, and then my sisters were older, and they had friends in bands, and the friends in the bands would, bring me some lyrics and say, "Can you write to this? Like, finish this?" I think that's where it all started, pretty young.
Yeah.
We always had a piano. My dad had us get piano lessons, and it just took off from there. It's like in you. I think that's the thing about music. You can be exposed to it young, but not letting it go, it's because you just can't help it.
Yeah.
It's just part of you.
Kind of gets
Yeah.
in your blood.
Yeah,
and it kind
exactly.
of stays there.
Right.
And even though you may drift away from time to time, it pulls you back in.
It does.
Yeah.
It has to. Like, if you have that true love
Yeah.
for music,
No doubt. No doubt.
listening or whatever it is, but as far as writing, it's just, it's always there. It's always underlying somewhere within the space of whatever's happening in your life. Well,
Right.
for me anyway,
Right.
as a songwriter.
Now, do you write together at all, or do you write everything, Diane, or what?
I write a lot of the lyrics, but John will come up with a lick or just he'll bring a song of music, just the music with the guitar, and I'm like, I got it. It comes really fast, I think.
Yeah.
We collaborate really well
Yeah,
because
it's really
I'll
cool.
come with, like she said, a vibe
Yeah.
or a riff or an entire song. Or she'll come in, maybe we'll piece something together little by little.
Yeah.
And then she'll add the keyboards. And then, like one of the songs she wrote about, remember what happened to you down on your vacation when you wrote that song?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she'll write a song and then...
Oh, that I forgot about that.
And then
song.
what I'll do is I'll enhance it with
Yeah.
with the guitar parts and accent it. Maybe we have to do a break here. Maybe we have to let the song breathe a little bit more. And it works out. It works out really well because we're flexible. You know, a lot of musicians, Matt, are very stuck in their way, and that's the way the song is.
And it's hard to write.
Right,
that
we're not
way.
going to change it. We're flexible. How does it sound? We'll record it ourselves. Before we do a demo, make it a keeper.
Yeah.
And so it works really well.
Yeah.
It's worked really well for us together.
Now, do you play out live at all together, or because I know there's some distance geographically.
I
try.
do a little rock duo, Rock D Love, but he was the original guitarist, and we're kind of far
Yeah.
demographically, but as far as writing, mostly with John.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do play.
We
out.
both have side projects.
Yeah, you recorded.
I still have my roots back home. I have producers back home in the Buffalo area who work with Goo Goo Dolls,
Oh,
Worked
cool.
with a lot of bands in and around Toronto area, Alexis on Fire, Billy Talent. And so they're my inspiration to help me. And so I have a side project. It's totally rock. It's more alternative.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I'll write it, play the bass, they'll bring the drums in. And so we want to get an EP out in the very near future.
Yeah. Do you, either with that project or between the two of you, do you send files back and forth online when you're writing and recording? Because I mean, that's one of the amazing things about the time that we live in is you can do that now. You know, you don't even have to necessarily be in the same room to get a lot of that work done.
We have, but I think mostly for me, it works better if we get together. Just because I need that.
We're old school,
face-to-face.
Matt. Live,
absolutely.
Working it together
Yeah.
with the emotion. Like she'll come up with a lyric and I might want to change it, or I'll come up with a riff and she'll say, "Can we do it this way, or do we want to slow it down here?" So it works out well. It's a combination of working together.
Yeah.
Of what sounds good.
Yeah.
It's not that far. I mean, it's like, well, it is, but it isn't. You know, for
Yeah.
music, it isn't.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
write.
yeah. And as far as like distance here to Worcester, like when I lived in Concord, it was about 90 minutes, but I don't know what it's like because you live in Manchester, right?
I live in Meredith.
Oh, Meredith. What? Oh,
So it's far, but it's, you make a day out of it. You make sure you figure out ahead of time what you want to work on. He
Yeah.
comes up more than I go down, but
yeah.
it's definitely worth doing because we always come up with something. I think we always have what we want to work on. It always comes up with a song.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Like if you can have that partnership where you actually have progress.
How many songs have you done as partners? Do you know? Any idea?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Without some are demos and some are still now in the works.
Yeah.
I don't have an exact number, but there's quite a
Quite
few.
a few,
songs.
There's
yeah.
so many that aren't recorded that are like ready to go. We have to work on them.
Like just a couple weeks ago, I wrote an entire song, the melody, and gave it to Diane. She's working on the lyrics, and then she'll come back to me. And sometimes I'll give her a vibe like, this is what I'm thinking, what the song is about.
Yeah.
And that'll give her direction. And then she'll come back and say, what do you think of this? And what do you think of that?
Or I'll say, that doesn't sound like that. It sounds to me, because that is it with music, like your perception
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what you think something should talk about when you hear the music. So that's important to be able to listen to each other and say, I'm not hearing that when you're playing that. I don't hear that storyline. I hear a different storyline because it's all storytelling, really, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges with songwriting. At least, I've played in a lot of bands, and it's like, you hear something in your head, and then you have to try to, if you're writing with someone else or, or trying to teach someone else a song, then you have to try to communicate what it is that you're hearing to them, and that can be really challenging. Yeah,
it is challenging, but at the same time, like I said, I think we get it right away, and that's cool because it's so hard. Time is so fragile, and there's not a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we play something? We'll play the. You had sent me this track that I really love, and you have a beautiful voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So let's listen to this. This is called "Too Many Times," and this is a really great track. And then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. And because you've got some other material that has some stories that I want to ask you about. But let's listen to this. So this is Rock D Love. This is called "Too Many Times," and I really like this a lot.
How many times do I have to tell you that I don't want to love you on the floor in the trash. Rip my heart from my chest. I'm all done. Kiss my ass. 'Cause I've done this too many times. How in the hell can I fix you? Broken in love with a permanent hole. I'm gonna simmer down, give you back what you stole. Maybe you'll come around, 'cause I like my men cold. Oh, I like them cold. Oh, maybe I'll love you one more little time.
That's great. I like how it builds, and I like how the guitar kind of comes in subtly underneath, and then that kind of comes up in the mix as it goes.
I love
and
that guitar, John. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really well done. That's Too Many Times by Rock D. Love. And we have, let me see if I can do it twice. We have Diane Ruggiero
Yay! You did it.
and John. It starts with an O. I have a mental block. You know what it is? It's 4 syllables. Apparently, I can only remember 3-syllable last names.
Well, it's real easy. It's, if you know Italian, oggi means today, and then it's O-N-O, so Oggiano.
Well, that really helped, John.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That helps, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
That really.
yes, I'm sure
That makes sense.
I'm sure I'll retain that. Oggiano.
There you go. See?
All right.
You got
That
it.
was easier.
Oh, it works.
Good job,
That
man.
is
Wow.
easier to say.
Yes. That thing you did, the trick to remember the name. Years ago, I had this friend, and he's telling me about how he was reading about this this method to remember names, and he was saying that, for example, if you want to, well, not to remember names, but to remember the meanings of words, but it relates to names. For example, he said gregarious. If you want to try to remember what the word gregarious means, just think of picture a guy whose name is Greg Arius, and he's really friendly and outgoing and likes to party and whatnot.
Visual. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I looked at him and I said, it seems like it's actually, instead of trying to remember a guy named Greg Arius and these specific personality traits that he has,
That's funny.
I think it's probably easier to just remember what gregarious means.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And he's looking at me like, "What do you mean?" But everyone's
His brain didn't work that way.
Yeah,
All about
yeah.
how your brain works.
everyone's brains are. Maybe my brain is just better than his. I don't know. I mean, I must have I got a big Irish head, so I figure I have a big brain in there. That's what I tell people anyway. I have this big Irish melon. So, Diane, you had said in an email there's this track. Alive with a Smile, is that the one? Oh no, I'm sorry. When the Children, or is it When the Children Are Gone?
Yeah.
That one has a bit of a story, right?
Yeah, and it's the same, not the same story, but it's tied into Behind the Smile and that.
Oh, right.
On the SoundCloud.
Okay.
There was a murder in New Hampshire. I don't remember how many years ago it was, but anyway, I knew her. I knew the daughter of the mother who got murdered.
Okay.
And she wrote this book. I really can't say the name of the book right now because there was a lot of litigation because of that story.
Yeah.
So the stepfather sued and had all the books taken off the shelves because he didn't think it was an honest portrayal of the actual events that took place.
Okay.
So when she wrote these books, they self-published, they had signings at Common Man's, all around the area.
Yeah.
And I guess he got wind of it, pulled it off the shelf. But prior to that, they were thinking about making it into a screenplay because it was a really compelling story.
Okay.
And I said, well, Jem, I write songs. Why don't I write a song in case you do the screenplay? Then you have something. So her and her co-writer came over to my house, and I kind of had a little vision of what I thought was going on prior to the murder. and wrote When the Children Are Gone. But then they didn't really love that song because they thought it was too dark and didn't portray her mom in the light she wanted to be portrayed in. But I saw it, that was my take on it. Not that she was depressed, but just that she didn't want to be living this life because it was all surrounded by drugs and there was a front. They were living in a place that was really a front for a drug ring. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they didn't really think that portrayed the mom, but liked the song. They said, can you write something a little bit more upbeat? And she liked country, so that's when I did the country song, Behind the Smile. But for me personally, like, as dark and as long as that song is, I thought I nailed how the story went.
Yeah.
But it's all perception, like, that was one of my favorite songs to write and to listen back to, just because it made me on edge, and I like that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
sure.
I don't know what you think, but
is it frustrating creatively when you do that and then someone says, "Well, no, not really feeling it"? Or, I mean, does that bother you? Do you internalize that, or are you able to just kind of?
I don't. No,
good,
I don't,
good.
Because that you have to listen to people.
Yeah.
Especially if it's their story, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
And I'm not saying that they wouldn't have used it, but she just wanted to make it known that her mom was this person that was really bright and bubbly, not the way I was making it sound to her.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not what I was saying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's your take, too. Like, I'd be curious to know what you thought.
Yeah.
About how, like, did that song portray the story and tell the story in your mind? Like, because you don't really know the whole story.
Right, exactly. So it's hard to,
Right. So that's kind of good, because then I always want to know, is it telling the story that I wanted to put out there? And
Yeah.
no, I'm definitely flexible, because you have to be.
Yeah,
Especially
of course.
if someone's wanting you you have the honor of writing a song for someone.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
So, but they like the other song.
Yeah. And are those the only two songs that you did connected to that? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, those are the two.
Okay. Well, why don't we hear? We'll take a listen to that. So it was.
When the Children Are Gone.
When the Children Are Gone. Oh, yep, I've got it right here. Let's take a listen to this, and then we'll come back and talk some more. But I think this will be interesting for everyone to hear.
She stares out the windows in the morning, contemplating the cleanup from the party last night. White lines, aggressive euphoria, a bad ending in sight. Looks deep in the mirror, dark hollow eyes, an empty reflection, trying hard not to cry. Clenching fist, memories of easier times. He's my mind, he's my mind. Gritting teeth, lost in her sorrow and lies. And she'll be alone when the children are grown. Parties extensively lingering as the pain fades. create a good day. Life seems so precious, but now it's too much. Her tattered existence was never enough. Clenching fist, memories of easier times. He's my mind, he's my mind. Gritting teeth, losing herself in her mind. And she'll be all alone when the children are grown. Caught up, and her youngest was watching her plight. She breaks free to fight him, blade shining so bright. Birds, birds in the distance call to her pain. She gives no more resistance, soul tortured and slain. Clenching fist, stillness replaces the fight. She's alone, all alone, gritting teeth, darkness consuming the light. And she'll be all alone, 'cause her life is all done. Yeah, her life is all done.
I have to admit, it's different with headphones. Yeah, because the first time I listened to it when you sent it to me, I didn't hear it with headphones, just through speakers. But I'm hearing it through the headphones, and I'm hearing things I wasn't hearing.
Oh, like the strings and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's a long, dark song, but
Yeah.
it's just, it tells a story. I don't know.
It does, yeah. No, I think it's remarkable.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Where do you record? Do you have a?
Couple of different places. Actually, that was recorded at Squam Sound.
Okay.
Randy Roos did a lot of the strings. He's an excellent technician.
And where is that Squam Sound?
In Ashland.
Okay.
In Ashland. He does something with, I don't even want to try to explain it because I can't remember. And then the other place we do studio work is Bristol Studios. John and I have done work there.
Okay.
That's actually where we met in
Okay.
Boston.
In Boston.
Yep, at a
Very good.
songwriting workshop.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got paired together because we were both like the rock vibe.
Yeah.
So it worked out, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
you're in sessions, and then they'll say, write a song, and they'll pair people up.
Yeah.
Well, we happen to be sitting across from each other.
Yeah.
And they said, you two, go write a
No,
song.
but weren't we rock? Like we were both rock,
Yeah.
so they kind of knew that. Go
Oh,
ahead, rock
okay.
song.
And that's where
Yeah.
Too Many Times started. That's
Yeah.
where
Oh.
the formation, and then we wrote a Christmas song.
Oh, we wrote a rock Christmas song.
Yeah, we
We
wrote-
gotta do
it was
about
it was
that. We gotta
it was
record
funny,
that.
Matt, because
I forgot about that.
they
Hard rock Christmas.
they'll come in and they'll say, okay, you got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Write a Christmas song. Well,
Yeah.
it just so happens I already had a Christmas song I was working on.
Oh.
So then I sat with Diane. She put the lyrics to it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
And then we went back in it, and then you played in front of everybody. And
Yeah,
they're
it
like,
was
how'd you come
fun.
up with that like right away? We said, oh, we just worked on it right away. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you had the formation of it all ready to go, and you just tweak it.
Huh.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, that was,
It was fun.
Definitely.
It was fun.
Where was that, the songwriting workshop?
Bristol Studios. It's on
Oh,
Mass
it was
Avenue.
at the studio.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
It's
right
it's
at the
down by
studio.
Berkeley,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
right across.
Mass Ave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Certainly, yes.
Right.
Now, the music that you have, and again, we're talking to Diane and John from Rock D Love. Obviously, it's on SoundCloud and whatnot, but is it also? Are there physical copies of CDs or anything, or do you do it all online? Or
Well, I should do more promotion. I'm not very good at the technical piece. I need to compile another CD.
Yeah.
I had one. I sold them all, and then I should definitely get like the newer stuff on a hard copy so people can actually. We should have a CD release party when we have everything all together.
Well, sometimes
with
it's
new
also
things.
where you're working on something and you have the demos. Well, you've played. You have
Yeah.
the demos and you have the keepers.
yeah,
Is it ready yet? Should we still keep tweaking?
yeah,
Which you could realize at what point do you stop tweaking it and you just record it?
yeah.
So
That's
he's
true.
more of a perfectionist. Like,
Really?
just go record.
That's like no, that's
like,
not
oh my
right.
God.
Yeah,
The timing's off. That
Yeah.
that sync isn't right. That riff needs to change. So,
yeah, yeah.
So I'm one of those guys. Like I'm always listening to it. Like I need to do this. I need to do that. We need to add this. But as I said, there comes a point where even my guys in Buffalo said, just release it.
Right, right.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, I mean that can be hard too. Is knowing when something's ready and
Right.
and then trying to, because I don't know if this happens to you, if you kind of second guess yourself sometimes. Like you said, the guys in Buffalo told you no, it's ready. But I mean, does that happen to you where you kind of go, okay, I feel like this needs to change, but am I being a little too much of a perfectionist? Because at a certain point, you do have to kind of let go and say, no, this is fine.
Well, not only that, but you have to. If you've been in the studio, the studio. When you play live, it's a whole different vibe than when you're in the studio.
Yeah.
It's a whole different technique. It's a whole different mindset.
Oh yeah.
And you have to trust the people producing with you.
Yeah.
Because if they've worked with, like he was just with Graham Nash, this guy, he's very, very talented. I trust him. So
Yeah.
when he says to me that E over G works here, but it's not going to work here,
Right.
change it.
Right.
And then he's right, And I'm very fortunate too. Like Diane's up here, and I also work with a guitar player. I'll mention his name's Joe Stump. He's in.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
I take lessons from Joe.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Cool.
he gives me a lot of guidance. I've learned more. I know he's not listening, but I've learned more from Joe working with him in 3 years. Because people think of him as shred, but he can play anything.
Sure. Yeah.
He's a Blackmore disciple.
Yep.
And when you sit and get to know him, he teaches at Berkeley. He plays all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the things he's taught me and how to put things together, the modes,
Mm-hmm.
the chords, the scale of how to blend things. And like how Diane and I work out, I bounce things off of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come in and I'll say, okay, I got a harmonic minor going here and I got this going. And what do you think? And he'll listen and then he'll sit back and I would consider doing this here. And like we just talked about, you have to be open
Yeah.
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
criticism and you have to be flexible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he throws a lot of amazing ideas at me. So I'm very fortunate to be working with Diane. I've got Joe. I've got the people in Buffalo. I've
Yeah.
got some very talented people that are my sounding board that I can work with.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
fortunate. Very fortunate.
Excellent. Excellent. Are there any videos? Do you have anything online as far as live performances or no?
Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
I know. I gotta do that.
Yeah.
I have sticky notes all over my bathroom mirror. Video, Grammy. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely have to do a video. So
Yeah.
thanks, Matt, for reminding me.
Of course. Well, because people are going to hear this. You're going to get the Matt Connerton Unleashed bump,
Oh,
and
thanks.
people are going to be.
I get it. I understand.
People are going to be beating down your door, metaphorically. Well, you never know.
I hope so.
Yes, yes. And then, so do you have more? Are you currently working on new material? That it sounds like you got a lot. You got a lot in the
So
pipeline.
many. Like
Yeah.
we just worked on a pop song. Oh my God, that is such a pop song. He came up with it just like that. I'm like, that's perfect, and already made it better. So
Yeah.
we're working on a
And
real
Diane's
pop
wrote
song.
some jingles. We there's a lot of
Yeah,
directions
yeah.
that we want to go into.
Yep.
And when we first met, we talked about that, about well, maybe we should just, sell the material.
Right.
And then, well, maybe we should just record it and keep it ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
So you're always, as a musician, you're always like, okay, what's the best avenue?
Yeah.
Right. It has to work for everyone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And time is the thing. The time, like, I wish I could do it full time, but it's like you have to make a living.
Exactly. Yeah, you had sent me a couple of the jingles. Is that have you sold any of those so far?
Because I'm terrible about promoting it. I'm terrible. Like, I should be. Here you go. I have this. I have that. But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what happens to me. I
Yeah.
have a little ADD. So I'll write one thing, and then okay, I should work on promoting this, and then send it out here, send it out there. But then another song pops in my head, and
Yeah.
then I get distracted.
Yeah.
So that's what happens to me. I get distracted all the time, and I go on to the next thing. And that's bad. It's good and it's bad, because then you don't complete what you should have completed. Like, I should be shopping all these things, and that's my downfall.
Well, I think it's very common though among creative people, that ADD thing. I mean, I've become organized out of necessity, but it is hard. I know the struggle. It is hard because when you got a lot of different ideas, when you have a lot of different things you're interested in doing, and
Correct.
it's and there are only so many hours in the day. It can really be a challenge.
I don't like the technical piece. Like, I don't like having to post all that and make a video. I just like to write the songs and sing them. I love performing out.
Right.
Just when I get back to doing the technical stuff, I'm like,
Well,
I need a personal assistant.
It's like anything. We both work full-time jobs.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so then you get back and you're working on new material, tweaking the old material.
Yeah.
And something's got to give.
Yeah.
Gotta prioritize. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I'm bad at that.
Yeah. See, what I do is I just consume massive amounts of caffeine.
There you go. So you don't sleep.
Like I drink, Well, sleep schmeep. That's what I say.
Sleep's overrated.
Sleep's for the dead.
That's right. Yes. And if I don't sleep at some point, I'm probably going to die really young. But but at least I'll have made the most of my day, I guess.
You must sleep.
True.
I do
Your
get
brain works better.
Good point.
I do get lectures about not getting enough rest, but what are you going to do?
When you sleep, all the toxins are released from your body.
I've heard that. I don't
You're
believe
glowing, Matt.
That's right.
You're glowing.
There you go. Well, not in a good way, I guess.
Matt,
No,
what
it's
instrument
all
do you
good.
play?
I play bass.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Bass and a little bit of guitar, but I started out on guitar when I was a teenager, but I had no discipline, and I was one of those kids growing up where if I wasn't good at something right away, it was like never mind.
Sure.
And I wasn't good at guitar right away. I took lessons and everything, but then I remember when I picked up bass players hate when I say this, but it is what it is. When I picked up a bass for the first time, it was like 2 less strings, and I don't have to learn any chords. Think I found my instrument.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, playing a little bass is much
And there's not as
easier
many
than
bass
guitar.
players out there.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. So then I became a reasonably good bass player, but I can play a little bit of guitar, but just power chords and stuff,
Bass and drums. That's huge. That's the band.
Exactly.
If you guys aren't good and in sync, there goes everything else.
Exactly. So what does the future hold for this project? Do you have do you have any specific long-term goals with it, or are you just kind of taking it as it comes, or?
I don't know. Do we? I mean, I know I want to work on the next song and definitely get that out there because I think.
Well, a lot of the stuff that we've worked on, I consider them demos.
Yeah.
We need to make keepers. We need to get into the studio, hardcore, bring in the drums, bring in the bass, lay everything the way we like it.
So you want to do like a full production,
Correct.
full band production,
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Because the framework is there.
Right.
But, once you and even if we did some virtual, bass players or drummers, but to get the full scope, like, do you need strings here? What other guitars do you need? Do we need to layer guitars? Like, we have a version, which I really enjoy, of Too Many Times acoustically.
Oh, no kidding.
There's no electric.
Yeah.
And I like it. I mean, I think it works really well acoustically together.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of different takes on the songs, which do we feel is the best. Because when we play out, there's only two of us.
Right.
So I'm not going to plug the electric in.
Yeah.
With no bass and no drums. So we do an acoustic.
Okay.
And that works. That works.
Yeah. Is it? Do you do any kind of sometimes you see duos or solo artists now with pedals and looping and all that. Do you do any of that or
backing tracks and things of that nature?
Yeah.
We haven't gone that far yet. No.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
So is it just Diane? Are you playing as well when you play out acoustic? Okay.
Yeah, keyboard.
You're playing. So it's keyboard and acoustic guitar and the both of you are singing or.
She pretty much sings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sing.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Now, do you have any shows coming up? You got anything you want to mention? Or?
Nothing in the works. I had just played out at Last Chair just recently.
Where's that?
Have you ever been there? You got to go.
No.
Last Chair, they have live music all the time.
In Plymouth?
Yeah, it's a brand new place pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not familiar with
you got to try. They have a brewery out back.
Okay.
It's a really cool place. But for the most part, I think the key now is to focus on recording as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because when you play out, you got to do a lot of covers, and that's just the way it goes. And I think that as much as I love doing certain covers, I think that to get the skill, you need to be playing your originals.
Yeah.
To keep with that skill.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's hard to find rooms that are receptive to all original music.
It is.
Correct.
Although occasionally you might find one that is the opposite out of necessity. Of course, these rooms tend not to pay anything, but places where because like ASCAP and BMI are getting so aggressive now.
It's terrible.
There's some places that they don't want you doing any covers.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, don't do
so
anything
wrong.
that even remotely sounds like another song. And of course,
Isn't it terrible?
Yeah, yeah.
That's, everyone wants a piece of the pie.
The horror stories I hear, and I'm sure you both hear them too.
Yeah, they find like
they go
crazy.
in. Yeah, they go in like undercover agents, literally, and then at the end of the night, they're harassing the owner, and it's I don't know. From what I've been hearing, it's gotten a lot more aggressive than it used to be.
What can they actually do to the owners, though? They can't shut them down, right? What could they actually do?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, if the owner just flat out refuses, like, you play these songs on the radio, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's money involved with that as well, but
yeah,
they're paying the bands.
Right.
And the bands, if it was my song being played out, I don't need a royalty. I'm so proud you're playing my song.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know why. Like there's tribute bands and full-time cover bands. I don't know. I don't know what they do. Now that I'm thinking about it, what do they do? They must.
I worked at a place where he asked me before I played there, am I a member of BMI or ASCAP? And I said, yes, BMI. And he said, okay, good. Somehow, because I was a member, I could play the songs that I wanted to play as long as they were listed under the BMI.
Really?
It was crazy. And he would check. He would check the
No
song.
kidding.
Yeah, but the only reason I was allowed to play there is because I was a member of BMI.
Yeah. But that's a weird dynamic too, because what would that have to do with? If
I
you're
have no idea what his
so
mindset
strange
was, but
yeah,
the whole thing upsets me because, if you're famous enough to have someone be playing your songs out,
right?
That right there is that's something to say for yourself,
Right.
Forget about the money. It's a huge industry, as you know.
But if you are that famous,
industry.
Yeah, but if you are that famous, you don't need the money at that point, probably, right? Because you're making your money on royalties and from other places and your publishing and all that.
Right. It has to be the labels. The labels are and the BMI licensing companies.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, it's hard. And then there's a lot of artists, like you said, they'll do some covers and mix in, covers and originals. But, yeah, no, I hope you guys decide to do some live shows. I'd like to come see you.
Yeah.
Love to have you.
And
well, now
absolutely.
We will, since you're coming.
All right. Very good, very good. So, where should people go online to keep up with what you're doing with this project? Do you have a website or?
Don't have a website, but SoundCloud right now.
Yeah.
Rock D Love. I'll get better at it. I'll start working on that. Especially since, you made me realize how much I'm not doing.
But see, you can because you reached out to me.
I know. No,
So-
well, because I know you on Facebook, and
Yeah.
I am pretty good at contacting people, but
Yeah.
I'm not great at the social media and expanding on that. And John, you should help me do that. You're probably better at it than me.
There you go. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, see now, and we have this.
Okay, now you have a witness.
We have this.
Witness,
This is
yes.
documented. Yes. Yes. All right. Well, thank you both, Diane and John. I appreciate it. Rock D Love. I really like what
Thank
you're doing.
you, Matt,
It's
for having
awesome.
us.
Thank you for bringing pizza. Very awesome. And we'll play one more track to finish up this segment.
Sure.
What do you want to play? I've got, like I said, I've got the tracks you sent me, and I've got your SoundCloud open. So
Want to do Just Get Loose?
Yeah.
Just Get Loose.
Just Get Loose.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll play this. This is Just Get Loose from Rock D Love.
Here I am, mama, standing right in front of you. You can't see, 'cause you're blinded by the things you do. I got your damage figured out. Yeah, I know what you're about. We're players in a crowd. You need to just get lost. Losing up that dirty news, just get lost. Losing up, there's no excuse. I can see the heavy shield that makes you weak. Let me just see. Look inside before you speak. I will take you to a place where your sorrow has no face. Let's get lost in time and space. We need to just get lost. Oh, losing up that dirty news, just get lost. Oh, losing up, there's no excuse. Time is ticking away. Night is turning to day. This is all I gotta say. You gotta just get loose. Oh, losing up that dirty news. Just get loose. Oh, losing up, there's no excuse. Here I am, standing right in front of you. You can't see, 'cause you're blinded by the things you do. We're all part of the stampede. We're all human, we all bleed. But I know what we all need. We need to just get loose. Oh, losing up that dirty news. Just get loose. Oh, losing up, there's no excuse. Lose. Oh, losing up that dirty news. Just get loose. Oh, losing up, there's no excuse. Just get loose. Loose.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt Connerton. Thank you all so much for joining me again this week. Don't forget, of course, you can find the full archive of Local Outbreak at IPMNation.com/Local Outbreak. And, of course, if you'd like to reach out and be a guest on the show or have your music featured, etc., you can contact us easily via email, submissions@ipmnation.com. That is submissions@ipmnation.com. And thank you again so much to Diane and John from Rock D Love. I really enjoyed our conversation a lot. And we're going to leave you with one more track. This is from their SoundCloud page where you can find their music. This is a really cool song. This is called Take Care by Rock D Love to finish up this week's Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet.
I'm so tired of being hurt. What's the reason? What's my word? I am gonna make a change today. Take care of your heart, fragile body part. It's a place that holds light. When the darkness comes, you gotta win the fight. So take care of your heart. Watch out for your soul. You are in control. Weakness fades and you'll be in charge. You're powerful. No, it isn't hard. So watch out for your soul. Challenges arise, life's a series of events. Welcome to the world, certain things you can't prevent. Lift yourself up high, no one's gonna bring you down. You're a shining star, it's bright whenever you're around. Open up your mind. Good ain't hard to find. Do what's right and adapt to change. Keep your goal in sight. Open up your mind. Challenges arise, life's a series of events. Keep on fighting to let the light in. Welcome to the world, certain things you can't prevent. Lift yourself up high, no one's gonna pull you down. You're a shining star, bright whenever you're around. Take the time to see. Live in empathy. Walk the road that is true, and you'll find the path to the better you. Take time to see. Take care. Take care. Take care of life.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
10 years ago, the energy market was deregulated. This opened the market to new suppliers. Ambit Energy is one of those suppliers. Go to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com and see how you can not only get free energy by switching to Ambit, you can also earn travel reward points while lowering your utility bills. Learn more by going to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com. Start saving today.
IPM Nation is proud to be sponsored by Uptown Auto Repair, located in Manchester, New Hampshire at 578 Mast Road. Phone number is 603-625-8026. Have you ever heard of a mechanic that guarantees their work? Well, now you have with Uptown Auto Repair, 603-625-8026.
IPMNation.com.